Welcome to Monday Morning Metrics. Every Monday at 10:30 Central Time, I get on Facebook Live and talk about small business, finance, operations, digital tools, you name it, how to run a small business through the lens of your numbers. My name is Rebecca Berneck. I am the founder and big head of Office Heads. We are a financial management company located in Evanston, Illinois, providing bookkeeping, accounting, analysis, and coaching for small businesses. So here I am today. We are discussing how do I want to demystify payroll. What is the easiest way to run payroll? So make some comments below. I'll try to keep an eye out for comments and answer your questions as we go, but let's jump in and talk about payroll. So I want to start with the type of entity that you are, because the government, the IRS, has some regulations on how you pay yourself as an owner. So if you have an LLC, you do not have to run your compensation through payroll, because you're just considered an owner and you get distribution. Now, keep in mind that what payroll really does is it pays taxes to the government on a regular basis and regular schedule. So as an owner of an LLC, and also I'll throw in, if you're unincorporated, you're a sole proprietor, you're not running yourself through payroll, you don't get away with not paying your taxes. Instead, then you have to do quarterly taxes. So you have to stay on top of what you're paying yourself to pay your quarterly taxes. But if you are an S Corp, a C Corp, any other of those types of entities, the IRS says that you as the business owner must run your compensation through payroll. They want to get your payroll taxes on a regular schedule, on a regular basis. So that's about owner comp, and that just depends on what type of entity that your business is. So next, let's talk about your employees. So you actually have two different types of employees. And sometimes when you think about a contractor, you don't think about them in terms of employment, but yes, you're actually employing someone, but you're just doing it on a contracting basis. So you've got two different types of employees. You have your W-2 employees, which are actually employees employed by your organization. And then you might have contracted employees that you pay through a 1099. So we're going to talk today mostly about the employees that you have hired through your organization, your W-2 employees. So when you hire these employees, they have to fill out a W-4 form, and that gives all the information that they need to give about what the money that that they're taking out of their paycheck. So right now, I'm going to stop for a second, and this is we bundle this into our digital tools. We love Gusto Payroll. It is built for small businesses. We have small business in mind. They've got features and functionalities that just make it a breeze to process your payroll. So that's what OfficeHeads uses to pay both its W-2 and its 1099 employees. And we recommend Gusto for all of the clients that we work with, so that they make it really easy to then process your payroll. So the first thing that you need to do with your employees is you need that W-4 form. Well, luckily enough, Gusto does this onboarding for you. So as soon as you have a new employee, you enter in their name and their email address and their information about what they're getting paid, whether they're salaried or whether they're hourly, and then that employee gets an email to self-onboard. They basically do a digital W-4. And so Gusto manages this for you, so it's really great. So then once you have all of your employees into your Gusto payroll, you then decide what the pay schedule is. Typical pay schedules are the 15th and the last day of the month. Another typical pay schedule is every other week. But of course, you can pay weekly and you can pay once a month. But the typicals are, again, the 15th and the last day of the month, and also every other week. So you can schedule those. You can have two different sets of employees. You can have your salaried employees on the 15th and the 30th, or the last day of the month, and your hourly employees every other week. Now, it's important with hourly employees because they need to be handing in timesheets, and then you take that information and you enter it into Gusto. Once it's entered in, boom, everything gets paid on your behalf through the payroll processor. Really simple, really easy to do. Gusto also sends you reminders to say, hey, you've got 3 days left, 2 days left, it's time to run your payroll. So chances are you're not going to forget to run your payroll on the appropriate schedule. So what Gusto does for you And, you know, a lot of payroll processors does this, but what I'm going to mention about Gusto too, it's just a tremendous value for small businesses. Regardless of how many times you run payroll, it's a standard and set monthly fee. It's $6 per month per employee. So whether, again, it is a contractor or a W-2, you can, even if you do weekly or even more than that, you're still going to get charged the same amount of money every month to run that payroll. So what Gusto does for you is it calculates all of your taxes according to your tax tables with the state and with the IRS. So when you run your payroll, you run it in, you make sure that, of course, you have the money in your checking account to be able to cover your payroll, and they will pay your employees by direct deposit. If you choose to pay by paper check, they will do that as well. But typically everybody's like direct deposit, so boom, it gets put into their account on payday. They will also take the money out and pay your taxes for you as well. So there are other checklists to do when it comes to payroll, because now that money then needs to get paid to the IRS and to the state. So they do that for you. And then on a quarterly basis, there's quarterly payroll returns that you need to run. They do that automatically, no extra charge. Then there's your annual payroll forms. They do that for you automatically, no extra charge. They send out your W-2s and your 1099s, no extra charge. So this is why we love Gusto. It's just everything is all broken into your monthly fee, so you can handle your cash flow a little bit better, and running payroll is pretty darn easy. Now, I didn't go into too much detail about 1099s, but if you have contractors that you pay, if you run them through Gusto as well, then they do the 1099s. Now, January, 1099s need to go out. There's a deadline every year that you need to get your 1099s and your W-2s out. So your W-2s are automatic because you're doing all your payroll through there, but we highly recommend that any contractors that you pay, run it through Gusto, and it really makes your January task list of getting those forms out to your employees, both employees, W-2 and 1099, really super easy. So, you know, that's really about it. I'm saying go for Gusto because they have a great customer support, really easy to use, and it's just a great payroll processor that we recommend for all small businesses. If you have any other questions, put them in the comments below. I'll answer them later. But there you go. There's the easiest way to process your payroll and whether to determine whether you have to do W-2 payroll or you can just pay your 1099s or pay yourself through distribution. That's it for today. Thanks for joining me at Monday Morning Metrics. Next week, 10:30, I hope that you're there, and have a great and profitable week.